Hey there, I'm Alice Karsavar, and thank you so much for visiting this video. Today, we're going to be talking about how to analyze a property in Oakland for price and kind of determine what's going on with it and figure out how much you should make an offer if you'd like to make an offer on it. And the reason I'm doing a specific video for Oakland is because Oakland's a very different market from other parts of the Bay Area. Whereas in the peninsula, you'll have properties listed at more of what the seller is looking for. Oakland is very different, as there's a lot of low listings because they try to get those bidding wars. So you might see a property that's listed at like $799K and it actually goes for 1.3 million. And so I like to tell buyers, like, just go in with your eyes wide open and make sure to like be aware that those asking prices are not really accurate in Oakland. Sometimes, not all the time. Okay, so we're going to start here. I'm going to just start with a new property. I'll go in another time why that property was not one we will look at. Okay, so we're going to say that we're like in the $1.5, $1.2 million price range. We want a couple bedrooms for our partner and our potential future kid. Okay, so you're looking, or I'm looking, and I see, wow, $845K. This looks like a good one. And I don't know if you're familiar with this road. It's a pretty good spot. And like, this looks gorgeous, right? It looks great. And here, this one's going to be a harder one to look at because I don't think there's a estimate up here, which will make it more fun for us. Okay, so it's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. So what I do first is, there's no estimate. They took it out. Usually the realtor, I think I don't take out that, but some people like to take it out. I like to give people all the information. Okay, so here's the history. Sometimes I'll look at that to see what fishy stuff is happening, if anything. And then I'll start to look and see, again, ignore what the asking prices are in the for sales. We want to just look at what's sold around it. So here's one that sold for 1.4 million, next door almost. This one sold really recently. We're in September 2021 as I'm making this video. Hopefully this doesn't get too dated, but the concepts I'm sharing here should not become dated. Maybe the websites will change, you never know, but this is how we do it. Okay, so it sold for this has a lot of bedrooms and bathrooms. This is a huge property. I would not consider this a comparable. I would ignore it and I would go back and be like, okay, now Zillow doesn't think I'm a human. That's fair. I'm just a robot here. Okay. Okay, so let's take this. If there's no estimate, this is not going to help us. We're just going to have to figure it out for ourselves by looking at comparables, do it the old-fashioned way. In these cases, usually my clients will be like, Alice, can you help me with this? And then they'll send it to me and I will go look at it. This one sold, and this could be a potential comparable, but let's look at the quality of this house before we get into it. So it looks pretty nice. It looks like they've staged it. They've cleaned it up. They've done a lot to it. And maybe there's some issues with it, but we'd have to ask for the disclosures. So be sure to get those before you make any offers on properties, especially if you have no contingencies. And it looks like they did a paint job here. So they really cared about, oh, and look at this backyard, great backyard. And it looks like there's some sort of she shed or an ADU back here. Yeah, so this is going to up value. And this probably isn't included in this square footage count. So that's something to keep in mind. So I don't think this will be an accurate comparable if there is not an ADU here. Let's look at this one. So this one looks really good too. And it sold, but this sold a long time ago. This sold in 2019, which is like decades ago in Bay Area time. So we're not going to consider this a comparable either. So I would say it's definitely gonna be over that. So we're gonna take this address and we're going to go and just Google it. And we're going to try to find, let's go to Redfin and look there. Maybe okay, so it's a hot home. And again, they tend to get hot because they're priced so low. I would ignore the hot home situation until asking your agent, like, how many people are actually intending to make an offer on this house. And that will determine a little bit more what price you want to go for. Okay, so I kind of like Redfin, how they will show you the solds nearby. Again, ignore the ones for sale. It's very hard to do. And we're going to look at the solds. Okay, so here's one. This is more like it. This one went for 1 million. It was sold May. That also is a pretty long time ago because things have gone up since May. At least at the moment. Maybe you're going to be watching this video in a cold market and you can just make an offer on the asking price. Okay, so this one sold in August. It's a 2-1. sold for 1.1 million. This might be very similar. Let's look at some other comparables. We also want to look at a map and make sure it's nearby. This one seems to be near a busy street. If the property is near a busy street, it will go for less typically, unless it is just there's a buyer that doesn't care about busy streets as much. Okay, so these ones on the side streets would be more similar. This one sold August for 900. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to go pick this one, the 1.1, and I'm going to take a look at the photos and see how similar it is and look at the comps here. Okay, so first of all, let's look at the one we like. So this one's 1,040 square feet. Let's look at how big the lot size is, 4,000, built in 1926. So now we're gonna look here, pretty much the same. And it looks very nice also. Okay, so this looks great. Is there a shisha? This is a great deck. Expensive to build a deck like that. Yeah, so this doesn't have that ADU shed situation. So this is, being that this sold for 1.1, this other one could sell for even more than that. That would be a way to justify it, even though it isn't. Okay, built pretty much same built date, but this one's even older. This one has a smaller lot size as well, and it's now estimated 1.1 million, so it went up a little bit since it was purchased. And this one looks like the realtor took out the estimate here too. I'm thinking that the price is going to be over this based on that alone, but maybe it won't be. Maybe it will be like another comparable. Really, the ADU here sells even if it's not in the square footage. Okay, recommended similar homes. Here we go, back to the sold. Here's one that went for 1.2, and this one's a pretty recent one too. We want the Julys, the August, the September sales. We don't want things in Q1 of 2021. This one is, oh my gosh, I'm losing. Okay, this one's 1,000. This is a smaller house, and it sold for 1.2. Maybe this one has an ADU. Great backyard patio here. Seems to have some sort of structure, but it doesn't look like it has an ADU. What is that? This might be an ADU. I do not know what that is. I'm trying to make this video fast. So I'm not going to read the description and get too detailed. This one has, I believe, more square feet on the lot. I'm comparing two here. So I'm looking at the 4,300. Yeah, this one's a little bit larger lot size. So it could go for 1.2. So I'm now thinking it's going to go between 1.1 to 1.2 something, because this one does not seem to have an ADU situation in the backyard. So that's where I would fall on that. And you can keep doing this. And maybe there's one that sold recently that sold for 900 and it did have an ADU. And I would factor that in too, and I would take the average of that, and that's the price I would go for. Again, things can go much higher if someone's emotional, and it could still appraise at that price. And so it's really like this art science combination. And what you really want to know too here is how many people are going to bid on it. If it's a lot of people, you're going to want to up it to the max of what you think. It might underappraise, and that's just like one of the risks. And it maybe, if there's not a lot, you can do a lower number. Hope that helps, and looking forward to talking with you. If you have any questions, feel free to ping me. And yeah, I'll make more videos like this. Just let me know if there's a topic or a question you have, and I'll make it. Thanks. Bye.